Okay. So, Jai Gurudev, all Jai Gurudev, everyone, Namaskar.
Gurudev.
So, my name is Udayan Dalmia, and I am again back for another live session. I am a fashion designer from Calcutta, and I am also a Jyotish enthusiast and a Jyotishi now because of Alok Bhaiya's blessings. And we have Madhavi Chavan with us. She is from Dubai, and she is a cost accountant. And she's also now a Jyotishi and practicing Jyotishi. So today it's one of a very topic. The topic in which we are going to speak about is very close to my heart because I have been chanting mantras from a very early age and I've seen a lot of benefit happening. So I wanted to share that. So that was my basic motive of taking this topic. So I told कि माधवी जी इस पे कुछ करते हैं काम ठीक है ना. So आज हम क्या करेंगे? Today we are going to try to dig deep. I will not say good, जितना जा सकते हैं हम वो करेंगे because this is a huge and vast subject, right? So today we are trying to find as many questions as we can, like related to mantras, mantra chantings. What are the mantras? So like we are divided the whole session now into three sections. Okay, so in the first section we are going to discuss what is a mantra and why do we need to chant a mantra, right? What are the benefits of it? And as we all know that we are all made up of five elements. So what are the relation of the five elements with the mantras? How they affect that? And we are going to then check how the birth chart from the perspective of a birth chart कि कैसे मंत्र साधना से सिर्फ हमारा पंचम भाव ही नहीं जहाँ पे मंत्र देखते हैं हम बट कि 12 भाव में कैसे वो मंत्र को असर करता है वो. So we are going to look at that in the first section. The second section we are going to see the classification of mantras. Like there are different type of mantras. There are Vedic mantras, बीज mantras, stotras, kavachan. There are so many. तो क्या करे, कौन सा करे, किसका क्या मतलब है, ये कहीं थोड़ा बहुत उसके अंदर हम आज जाएंगे. ठीक है, जितना हमें टाइम परमिट करेगा, we'll go as much as possible. And in the third section we'll see कि कुछ we'll see some examples of different specific mantras for specific purposes and how different planets represents different mantras. ठीक है ना, कौन सा planet किस मंत्र को represent करता है, उससे कौन सा मंत्र को करने से कौन सा planet benefit होगा, उसका हमें energy मिलेगा, है कि ना. So let us move on to the section A first. So what is a mantra? जब हम ये word सुनते हैं मंत्र, so इसको अगर हम ब्रेक डाउन करें ना, तो व्हाट इज इट? मन का तंत्र. मन इज आवर माइंड एंड तंत्र इज टेक्निक, राइट? सो द टेक्निक टू मैनेज आवर माइंड इज मंत्र. और इसका और एक अगर हम मतलब और एक आई सॉ अ मीनिंग दैट मंत्राई. So try is to protect. So the science to protect our mind is what is a mantra. अब ये मन को हमें प्रोटेक्ट क्यों करना है या मन को हमें मैनेज क्यों करना है, राइट? So see, all our thoughts and emotions arise in our mind. है कि नहीं है? So studies estimate that in an average, a person has around 50 to 70,000 thoughts per day, right? That is around 35 to 48 or 50 per minute. So like just एक दो सेकंड में हमारा मन बदल रहा है कि नहीं? मन में थॉट्स आए जा रहे आए जा रहे आए जा रहे है कि नहीं है? And you know why it happens? Because this mind, the हमारा मन है, it is controlled by the planet Chandra or moon, which is the fastest moving planet. It changes its rashi every 2 to 2.5 days, right? And क्या होता है, ये मन में हमारे थॉट्स आते हैं, इमोशंस आते हैं, बट डू वी एक्ट ऑन एवरीवन? नो वी डोंट, राइट? आज मेरे मन में आया कि मैं कुछ भी कर लूं, हाँ, वो हम नहीं करते बिकॉज वो जो थॉट्स है ना, वो हमारे लग्न से फिल्टर होते हैं. दैट इज वाई लग्न इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट. when we use prediction में जब हम बात करते हैं तो we use both the लग्न and the चंद्र. why? चंद्र से हमारे मन का स्थिति देख रहे हैं और लग्न से हमारे बुद्धि का स्थिति देख रहे हैं. चंद्र मन में हमारे थॉट्स आए, लग्न से वो फिल्टर होता है एंड अकॉर्डिंगली वी रिस्पॉन्ड और वी मे नॉट एक्ट और वी मे एक्ट ऑन दोज थॉट्स, है नहीं? सो many of us, like matlab, even I we operate from the mind, from the faculty of our mind rather than our intellect. मन होगा तब काम करेंगे, मन के हिसाब से चलना, है कि नहीं है? So जब ऐसा होता है ना, तब हम उतना फिर प्रोडक्टिव नहीं हो पाते, उतना खुश नहीं रह पाते. सो फॉर बेटर प्रोडक्टिविटी, हायर हैप्पीनेस क्वोशिएंट, बेटर टाइम मैनेजमेंट, दीज आर द वेरी स्मॉल स्मॉल थिंग्स दैट आई एम टेलिंग. इसका जो बेनिफिट्स होता है मंत्र चैंटिंग का, कि माइंड को मैनेज क्यों करना है हमें, That is the what I'm saying, trying to tell about why should we manage our mind. So for better productivity, higher happiness quotient, better time management, to stay high on energy, लेकिन mind management becomes very important. And these mantras are being given by our rishi munis, right, as mantra sadhana, है कि नहीं? So now Madhavi ji is going to take us through what is mantra chanting and why, how is it related to our Jyotish as well. Madhavi ji?
Yes, thank you, Yudi. Very interesting topic. So let us see how mantra chanting and Jyotish is connected. They are very much interconnected, and in Jyotish, one of the most powerful remedial tools is mantra chanting. There is also gemology, रत्न पहनना है वगैरह, लेकिन जब मंत्र चैंटिंग करते हैं तो स्पिरिचुअल इसमें भी हमको हेल्प मिलती है, इसलिए रेमेडी के लिए तो करते ही है. नेगेटिव प्लैनेटरी अफ्लिक्शंस, टू वार्ड ऑफ दैट, एंड टू इट हेल्प्स अस इन बैलेंसिंग कर्मा, स्पेशली द अदृढ़ कर्मा. दृढ़ कर्मा को तो हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते, वो तो भुगतना ही है, लेकिन अदृढ़ कर्मा के नेगेटिव इफेक्ट्स हम मंत्र चैंटिंग से कम कर सकते हैं. और हमारे शास्त्रों में हर प्लैनेट के लिए स्पेसिफिक बहुत सारे मंत्र दिए गए हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल शनि के लिए ओम नमः शिवाय है, बुध के लिए ओम बूम बुधाय नमः है. सो mantras not only are used to mitigate the negative effects of malefic planets like Shani, Rahu, Mangal, Ketu, but if the beneficial planets in your chart are weak, then also mantras can help to strengthen those planets. Apart from this, the sound vibrations that the mantras create, they align with the energies of the different planets, and that aids us in spiritual as well as material well-being. So to sum it up, the overall benefits of mantra chanting are, one is the vibrational impact. They create sound frequencies that influence the brain and the nervous system. इससे क्या होता है, हमको मेंटल रिलैक्सेशन मिलता है, मन शांत होता है. एज यूडी सेड, तो मन भागता नहीं है इधर उधर, और शांत मन से वी कैन यूज अवर फैकल्टीज टू बी मोर प्रोडक्टिव. मंत्र से सेकेंड important benefit is the breath regulation, because chanting synchronizes your breath and promotes and takes you into a meditative state very quickly, and that helps us in reducing our daily stress. The third benefit, if we can name it, is neuroplasticity or cognitive benefits है. जब हम मंत्र कंटिन्यूस चैंट करते हैं तो they activate specific neural pathways which helps us in improving our memory and focus. Then एनर्जी सेंटर्स और चक्रास भी वो इन्फ्लुएंस करते हैं. हमारी बॉडी में 7 चक्रास है, तो वो बायोएनर्जिक फील्ड पॉजिटिवली हार्मोनाइज करते हैं, एंड इट हेल्प्स इन बैलेंसिंग द चक्रास. नाउ let us see how mantra chanting helps balancing the 5 elements that we are made up of. The 5 elements, as you all know, can we have the slide, please? We are made up of, the 5 elements are Akash Tattva, Vayu Tattva, Agni Tattva, Apas, and Prithvi Tattva. So, when mantra is not just a sound, it is a conscious sound, and each repetition, it subtly aligns and balances these 5 elements in our system. Akash Tattva gets expanded from sound as well as silence. Vayu Tattva gets balanced because of the breath and the rhythm, because each mantra has to be chanted in a particular rhythm. Agni Tattva, it is the activity of the 5th house, where our stomach is situated. So it amplifies the Agni Tattva and it helps us in focusing and in clarity. Emotional, water element also, our 4th body, we are made up of 7 bodies. So our 4th body is emotional body. First is physical, etheric, astral, mental. Mental और emotional body का भी cleansing होता है mantra chanting से. And then finally the earth element. Because when we chant mantras on a particular, at a particular time every day, in a particular posture, it helps us developing in discipline, and it strengthens our earth element. Now let us go in detail of each of these 5 elements and see how they really help. Let us talk about mantra and space element, the Akash Tattva. Sound travels in space. So the seat of this is the Vishuddhi Chakra, ears and space between the atoms. Now ether or the Akash is the element of the sound, and all mantras are sound vibrations, and hence they primarily operate in Akash Tattva. जब हम रेगुलरली मंत्रा चैंटिंग करते हैं तो सेक्रेड वाइब्रेशंस आर क्रिएटेड इन द स्पेस, और इससे क्या होता है, इट प्यूरिफाइज द आकाश तत्व अराउंड अस. दैट इज व्हाई व्हेन वी डू इट इन अ पर्टिकुलर रूम, द aura of that room gets purified. Chanting with awareness that induces a meditative state in us. उससे क्या होता है, हमारा consciousness expand होता है, not only within us but also around us. So which is the quality of Akash Tattva. How it is connected with astrology? The 12th and the 9th house are deeply connected to the subtle realm of ether, of the space element. Ether also governs our intuition. So higher mantras like Om, Gayatri, they enhance our intuition. So that is how the space element gets connected. Let us see how the Vayu Tattva, it helps to balance the Vayu Tattva in our body. Vayu Tattva is nothing but breath, the movement element. Its seat in the body is Anahat Chakra, the lungs and our nervous system. So as said earlier, the chanting, regular chanting in a particular way, it regulates our breath and pran, and that helps us in controlling the air element. When we combine pranayam along with the mantra, then it enhances our Nadu Shuddhi, cleansing our energy channels. That is why it is said that before we do any sadhana, we should do Anulom Vilom to balance the Chandra Nadi, that is the left, and the Surya Nadi, or the Ida or the Pingala as they call it. Now, air is responsible for our mental fluctuations. So once this air element is controlled, it helps to calm our mind. Scientific studies show that rhythmic chanting slows and improves our heart rate variability, and that is how the air element is balanced. I'll request UD to take us to the other 3 elements.
Yes, Madhavi ji.
Yeah.
Yes, Madhavi. So the next we are going to talk about the fire element. ठीक है ना, तो अग्नि तत्व के बारे में बात करेंगे. So जो हमारा बर्थ चार्ट होता है ना, उसमें पंचम भाव में से हम मंत्र देखते हैं, जहाँ के काल पुरुष के चार्ट में जिसका लॉर्ड सूर्य है, राइट. फिफ्थ लॉर्ड, द नेचुरल फिफ्थ लॉर्ड इज सूर्य, जिसका कारक गुरु है, एंड वहां पे अग्नि तत्व का लियो राशि यहाँ पे आता है. ठीक है ना. सो व्हेन वी चैंट मंत्र, जब हम अपने मंत्र चैंट करते हैं ना, तो हमारा जो प्यूरिफाइंग पावर ऑफ द फायर है ना, उसको वी वी ट्रांसफॉर्म दैट. जो हमारे अंदर जटार अग्नि है, या जो हमारा बुद्धि का अग्नि, पंचम में हमारा क्या आता है, हमारा मेमोरी आता है. सो वी व्हाट आर वी डूइंग व्हेन वी चैंटिंग द मंत्रास ना, तो हमारे बुद्धि को हम ट्रांसफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, हमारे बुद्धि को हम क्या कर रहे हैं, वी आर प्यूरिफाइंग दैट. जो हमारे जटार अग्नि है उसको हम वो कर रहे हैं. यहाँ पे कौन सा चक्र आता है, यहाँ पे सोलर प्लेक्सस आता है, द मणिपुर चक्र, व्हिच इज रिस्पांसिबल फॉर आवर डाइजेशन. एंड जो फायर एलिमेंट है उससे हमारा आईज एंड इंटेलेक्ट भी रिलेटेड है. सो इस जब व्हेन वी डू द चैंटिंग, व्हेन द फायर एलिमेंट इनसाइड अस इंक्रीजेस, है कि नहीं है, तो वो एम्बिशन, विल पावर, इंटेलिजेंस, creativity, whatever the element, whatever the characteristics of a fire element is, that gets improved. Our Surya is improving when we are doing the mantra. Why? Because it is the lord of the 5th house of the Kalpurush chart, and strong Surya is very much appreciated in the classics, because Surya is the only planet which has light. उसके पास ही एक विजन है, बाकी सब ग्रह उसके ही चमक से चमकते हैं, है ना. सो इसमें क्या है कि ऐसे गायत्री मंत्र है, इट इज वन, गायत्री मंत्र हो गया, आदित्य हृदय स्तोत्रम हो गया. दीज मंत्रास आर वेरी पोटेंट मंत्रास, लाइक विच आर डायरेक्टली लिंक्ड टू सूर्य, ठीक है नहीं है. नाउ टॉकिंग अबाउट द वाटर एलिमेंट, our body is made up of 70% of water, 70-75% of water, ठीक है ना? And moon is the mind. तो हमने mind के बारे में तो देखा कि कितना important है mind को manage करना है. And because the moon regulates the mind, you will see that the high tides and low tides also occur when the full moon and the new moon is happening, right? And that is why you see our moods also change when there is the new moon or the full moon. You know, there was an experiment. It was experiment on water molecules, ठीक है ना? Masaru Emoto, yes, Masaru Emoto's experiment on water elements showed that how much words have effect on the water structure. So he took droplets of water and he spoke some words to it, ठीक है ना? जब उसने खराब words बोला ना, so these water bodies, these water droplets, they formed a crystal. So when bad words were spoken to the water droplets, then very disturbing bad images or like not so beautiful images were made out of that water, of the water droplets, of the crystals. But जब उसको हमने अच्छे words बोला like love, happiness or om or any other such kind of a word which is a positive vibration, okay, so that made very beautiful water crystals. You can Google it. It is, you can see, आप Google पे देखोगे ना इसको, it is very beautiful. The mantra, the water crystals that were formed when good words were spoken were very beautiful. So आप देखो, even the words of happiness or love has such an impact. तो वो जो mantras है जो हमारे ऋषि मुनियों ने आज नहीं कब से दे रखे हमें, ठीक है ना, उनका क्या इम्पैक्ट पड़ता होगा. एंड क्योंकि 70% हमारा जो शरीर है वो पानी से बना है कि नहीं है, तो फिर उसका बहुत इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है. किसी भी बात का, वर्ड्स का हमारे पे बहुत इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है. सो दिस शोज दैट द मंत्र चैंटिंग हैज अ ह्यूज एंड इमेंस like effect on the water element of the body. Like now devotional mantras like bhakti chants also helps us balance the emotional part of the our mind, है ना? Now the अर्थ एलिमेंट, यस, द लास्ट एलिमेंट है द अर्थ एलिमेंट. सो अर्थ एलिमेंट का जो चक्र है ना, वो चक्र कहाँ पे है? ओके, आई डिडंट टेल यू द चक्र ऑफ द वाटर एलिमेंट. यस, सो द स्वादिष्ठान चक्र जहाँ पे है ना, वो हमारा वाटर एलिमेंट को वहां पे उसको वो इम्प्रूव करता है. नाउ द अर्थ एलिमेंट का जो हमारा रूट चक्र है, जो मूलाधार चक्र है, जहां से एनर्जी आता है हमें, है ना, तो वहां पे ये इसको इम्प्रूव करता है ना. So when we repeatedly chant with discipline, with a posture, with a stability, so that brings a stability in us. So what is earth element? Basically, it is stability. Stability can come through what? Two things, right? Financial stability and health stability, both of them. So when we chant mantras, बाकी हमने जो ऊपर सब कुछ किया है कि हमारा वाटर एलिमेंट ठीक हुआ तो हमारा मन ठीक हुआ, फायर एलिमेंट ठीक हुआ तो हम ना हमारा ये आपका डाइजेस्टिव एंड हमारा क्लैरिटी ठीक हुआ हमारे जीवन में. देन एयर एलिमेंट ठीक हुआ तो हमारा जो प्राण शक्ति वो रेगुलेट हुआ. ईथर एलिमेंट ठीक हुआ तो हम एक मेडिटेटिव स्टेट में आए. सो ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स विल गिव अस दैट स्टेबिलिटी दैट वी आर लुकिंग फॉर इन लाइफ. So that is how the mantra also balances the earth element. So like the deep sounds, especially the deep sounds like lam, om, has a vibratory grounding effect, strengthening the body's foundation. So earth element also responds to the rhythm and routine, both inherent in the mantra sadhana. है कि नहीं है? Madhavi ji, do you want to add anything in this?
Not really. You have covered.
So now we are going to look at how the birth chart is related to the mantra sadhana that we do. Madhavi ji, would you like to take us through that?
Yes. As we said, Jyotish and mantra chanting are connected. Now, how mantra chanting? Let us take the different trikons, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, and analyze with each trikon how the mantras are connected. So let us take the dharma trikon first. All the Jyotish students know that dharma trikon is, they represent the 1/5, first, fifth, and the ninth house, the pillars, the supporting pillars. Now, Pancham Sthan is associated with not only mantra, but memory, Purva Punya, our education, our creativity, our children, all of that. So when we chant mantras, naturally the fifth house gets empowered. Surya is the lord of the fifth house और उसका कारक कौन है? गुरु है. तो ये दोनों बलवान होते हैं जब हम मंत्र चैंटिंग करते हैं. And all these other elements of that fifth house, they also get strength. How does it help the ninth house? Now, Bhavat Bhavan concept, everybody, the Jyotish students know, ninth house is fifth from fifth. Ninth house is of dharma, higher knowledge, fortune, which is bhagya, and our guru. So mantras, when we do mantra chanting, they directly strengthen our dharma. We start remaining on the path of dharma, which gives us divine grace and luck because of that. It enhances our guru's blessings because guru is happy to see when we are on the path of dharma. So naturally, he starts protecting us and giving his blessings more to us. And thereby we get connected to higher wisdom. Ninth house is also of long distance journey, but when we do mantra chanting, this journey is not for entertainment, but it is more of spiritual journeys, pilgrimages, higher studies, but higher studies related to occult more than academic studies. Now, let us see, in the Dharma Trikon, we covered fifth and the ninth house. And the first house is what? Self, you yourself. So, first house is ninth from first. So, हमारा नेटिव का भाग्य ही खुलता है जब हम पंचम और नवम को स्ट्रेंथ देते हैं. It enhances our confidence, our overall vitality. It strengthens our mind and body connection, leading to better mental and physical health. और ये जब हम मंत्रा चैंटिंग और साधना रेगुलरली करते हैं तो हमारा करिश्मा और हमारी स्पिरिचुअल पर्सनालिटी डेवलप होती है. एक ऑरा, प्रोटेक्टिव ऑरा जो हमको सब बुरी चीजों से बचाता है, वो डेवलप होता है. Now let us look at the second trikon, the Artha Trikon, which are represented by the second, sixth, and the 10th houses. Now we all know that the second house represents what? Our family, our kul, family values, sanskar, our speech, and our accumulated wealth. So luckily, yesterday only our Guru Alok ji in his lecture said that all the negative elements enter through the second house and they directly give us obstacles because they look at the eighth house. So if we control the second house, we automatically control the eighth house. So let us see how mantra chanting helps us in controlling the second house. It improves our speech clarity. It gives us more wisdom and power of words. It attracts financial stability through positive vibrations and removal of reducing the negative karma. And it brings harmony. When we speak good words or good speech, naturally हमारी फैमिली में भी हार्मनी होती है, हमारे कम्युनिकेशंस एक दूसरे के साथ रिलेशंस बेटर हो जाते हैं और कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स रिड्यूस हो जाती है. So it's the 10th from the 5th. So the karma effect of doing mantra chanting, the benefit of that we get in the second house. Now let us see how it helps the sixth house, the second house of Artha Trikon. Sixth house is what? Rog, Rin, Shatru, disease, enemies, and obstacles. And it is second from the 5th. So it is Marak of the 5th. So if we do not do mantra chanting, the 6th house negativities we have to suffer. But if we do mantra chanting, then it acts as a protective shield against negativity, enemies, health issues. Past karmic debts भी reduce हो जाते हैं mantra chanting से. And it gives us focus, discipline, and resilience to overcome the obstacles in life. हमको प्रारब्ध तो भुगतना ही है, बट हमको स्ट्रेंथन करता है, जो दृढ़ प्रारब्ध हमको भोगना ही है उसको. Now the third trikon in the Artha Trikon is the 10th house, which is of karma, career, and status. And it is 6th from 5th in Bhavat Bhavan concept. So we improve, it gives us career success and leadership skills. It removes the workplace negativity. The negativities of the 6th house, like enemies, conflicts, वो reduce होते हैं when we do mantra chanting. So it helps us in our 10th house. And when we do seva, 6th house activity, or fifth house activity of teaching, it brings success in spiritual work. I request UD to take you through the other two trikons,
Yes,
Kama.
Madhavi. That was such a nice realization that how just the one house is affecting all the other houses. So when we talk about the Kam Trikon, right? So the third house is the first house of Kam Trikon. Third house is what? It is 11th from the 5th. Means what? The gains of our mantras are the result of our third house. तो हम जब मंत्र करते हैं तो उसका हमें क्या गेन मिलता है? द गेन इज व्हाट? थर्ड हाउस इज द हाउस ऑफ पराक्रम, right? Increased willpower, courage and initiative, the power to take initiative, the courage that we need to do any work, that gets increased, right? And also the third house is the house of communication, isn't it? So when a person has good communication skills, the person is more persuasive and can articulate, isn't it? And of course it can strengthen the bond with the siblings and siblings as well, and help achieving our desires as well. Now the seventh house is what? The third from the fifth, right? So एक तो भावत भावम से ये देखते हैं कि हमारे जो छोटे भाई है वो हम सेवन से देखते हैं. From the mantra point of view, is when we take the initiatives that to do the mantra chanting, it affects the marital harmony. It reduces the conflicts of the marital things that can come from the seventh house. Also fifth house में जो हम इनिशिएटिव लेते हैं वो हमारा मारक स्थान को स्ट्रॉन्ग करता है. मतलब नॉट लाइक दैट, द मारक जो इफेक्ट होता है ना उसको वो रिड्यूस करता है, राइट? एंड इट कैन ऑल्सो इनहेंस आवर पब्लिक इन्फ्लुएंस एंड रेपुटेशन थ्रू पॉजिटिव स्पीच एंड वाइब्रेशंस, इजंट इट? सेवेंथ हाउस इज व्हाट? पब्लिक का स्थान है. इट इज लाइक द मार्केट प्लेस. तुला राशि आता है वहां पे. सो व्हेन वी गो आउट देयर वी बिकम दैट, वी गो आउट विद अ वैलर. थर्ड हाउस आ गया ना वहां पे वो. वी गो आउट विद दैट वैलर when we do the chanting, that we get that confidence to present ourselves in the market, is what the fifth from the third wala cheez is. Now 11th house is the house which is direct opposite to the fifth house. It is the kendra house from the fifth house, है ना? So when we do the mantra chanting, वो क्या हमारे desires को fulfill करने में help करता है, हमारे gains को वो करता है, social network में हमारा नाम व fame को बढ़ाता है वो. It helps us manifest the desire and attract positive associations as well. Increase spiritual wealth and divine connections as well. When we are chanting mantras, so हम वैसे ही लोग को attract करते हैं अपने जीवन में, अपने social circle के थ्रू, right? So this was about the Kam Trikon. Now when we move to the Moksha Trikon, which is the 4, 8 and the 12. Now this fourth house is the house of happiness, right? And it is the loss of the fifth. इसका क्या मतलब है कि अगर हम बहुत ज्यादा सुख सुविधा प्लेजर हैप्पीनेस में लगे रहेंगे तो वो जो मंत्र है उसका हमारा बुद्धि का लॉस हो जाएगा वहां पे, है कि नहीं है? हमारा बुद्धि फिर वो काम नहीं करेगा. एंड आप उसको दूसरे एंगल से देखो, अगर फोर्थ हाउस के एंगल से आप देखो तो फोर्थ का सस्टेनेंस फिफ्थ में है. मतलब कि हमारा मन का सस्टेनेंस कहाँ पे है? मंत्र में है, right? So these are both 212 to each other, so they show a very beautiful connection. Why should we do, right? And what does that show? That कि अगर हम अपने मन के ऊपर स्ट्रॉन्ग कर ले, मन के ऊपर चले जाएं, तो वो हमें मोक्ष के तरफ ले जा सकता है. वही मंत्र चैंटिंग जो हमारे मन जो लॉस कर सकता है हमारे बुद्धि का, वही चीज हमें मोक्ष की तरफ ले जा सकता है जब हम अपना मन को स्ट्रॉन्ग रखेंगे. एंड दैट कैन हैपन हाउ? थ्रू द मंत्र चैंटिंग. व्हाई? बिकॉज फोर्थ हाउस का सस्टेनेंस हाउस इज द फिफ्थ हाउस. तो जो मन को सस्टेन करने के लिए क्या? मंत्र साधना. उससे हमारा पूर्व पुण्य उजागर होता है. नाउ द एट्थ हाउस, इट इज द सुख. इट इज फोर्थ फ्रॉम द फिफ्थ. सो मंत्र का सुख कहाँ पे है? समाधि में है. एट्थ हाउस इज द हाउस ऑफ व्हाट? समाधि, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. इट इज द हाउस ऑफ सडन गेन्स एंड सडन लॉसेस, इजंट इट? ऑकल्ट का हाउस है, लॉन्जिटिविटी का हाउस है. तो यहाँ पे हम क्या देख रहे हैं कि जो मंत्र का हैप्पीनेस कहाँ पे है? जब जब हम लोग मंत्र करते रहेंगे, बट उसका जो सुख है, जो हैप्पीनेस है, वो कब है? जब हम समाधि में जाते हैं. व्हेन वी गो डीप इनटू मेडिटेशन, that relaxed state of mind, when we get that, then that is the real happiness of the mantra. And what is the eighth house? Eighth house is the house of suspense, है कि नहीं है? तो हमें ज्योतिष क्या कहता है कि मंत्र का सुख कब मिलेगा? ये सस्पेंस है, है कि नहीं है? एक तो समाधि है, तो उसका जो खुशी है, खुशी के लेवल पे अगर बात करें, मन के लेवल पे बात करें, तो वो हमें मिलेगा जब हम समाधि में जाएंगे, बट उसका रिजल्ट कब मिलेगा, दैट इज द सस्पेंस. सो इन पतंजलि योग सूत्रस, ऋषि पतंजलि सेज अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल लाइन, स तु दीर्घ काले नैरंतर्ये सत्कार सेविता दृढ़ भूमि ही. सत्कार सेविता दृढ़ भूमि ही means what, that when a practice is sustained over a long period of time with unwavering commitment and dedication, then it becomes firmly established. So क्या है ना, हमें अपने साधना को, हमारे मंत्र साधना है, कोई भी साधना हम करते हैं, इसको लॉन्ग करना है, निरंतर्य विद सत्कार, सत्कार के साथ करना है कि नहीं है, एंड विद दैट reverence and devotion, when we do that, then the benefit of that we get, है कि नहीं है. So मंत्र का सुख इसमें समाधि में है. It increases, it also can increase our longevity and spiritual evolution. It makes us more spiritual. And 12th house is 8th from the 5th. So 8th house जैसे हमने बात किया, अभी समाधि का घर है ना, तो जो मंत्र से हम समाधि में जाते हैं वो हमें कहाँ लेके जाता है, मोक्ष की तरफ लेके जाता है. मोक्ष कहाँ हो गया, 12th हाउस में हो गया, लेकिन ये, so the transformation that we have, 8th house is also transformation. The transformation that we go through when we do the mantra chanting, when we attain the samadhi, ठीक है ना, वो हमें कहाँ लेके जाता है, मोक्ष की तरफ लेके जाता है. It reduces our suffering by cutting off karmic debts, right, and also leads to spiritual liberation and deep meditative states. So this is how we conclude कि 12 घर को कैसे, ज्योतिष के 12 घर को एक मंत्र साधना कैसे उसको इफेक्ट करता है, कैसे वहां से बेनिफिट बेस लेके आता है. नाउ अब हम थोड़ा सा टेक्निकल पार्ट ऑफ द सेशन में चलेंगे, जहां पे विल डिस्कस ऑन हाउ टू chant the mantras or the classification of the mantras. Madhavi ji, please take forward.
Yeah. So very well explained. Every soul's ultimate goal is liberation and consistency in doing mantras with complete surrender mode. ये जब करेंगे तभी वो मोक्ष त्रिकोण की तरफ ले जाएगा हमें. Okay. Now let us see some of the things that we have to be careful about while mantra chanting, or what are the proper ways to chant mantras. The first and the foremost that we have to remember is correct pronunciation. Why? Because only then it ensures that the full potency of the mantra is activated. सेकेंडली, अगर कभी कभी गलत प्रोनाउंसिएशन, एक मात्रा इधर की उधर हो जाती है तो गलत मीनिंग भी हो जाता है. सो इट कैन, instead of benefiting, it can harm us also. So correct pronunciation is very very critical, and that is why Vedic mantras and all, everybody, we cannot chant unless we learn it properly. Then second aspect is the count. कितने टाइम करना चाहिए. So the traditional count in aligning with the cosmic cycle is 108 times, which represents not only our 9 planets into 12 rashis or 27 nakshatras into 4 padas. So ये 108 है. लेकिन कभी कभी अलग अलग मंत्रों के लिए शास्त्रों में दिया गया है कि ये 1.25 लाख करने हैं, 1 लाख करने हैं, तो वो हिसाब से we have to do that to get that benefit. For example, at the time of grah pravesh, वास्तु पुरुष मंत्र has to be done 1.25 lakh times, 1.25 lakh. So those have been defined in our shastras. Then time and place, कहाँ करना है. Specific mantras are best chanted at particular times, like Gayatri mantra at sunrise, Lalita Trishati during the day before 6 p.m. Before sunset it must be chanted. So that way, for each and every mantra the time has been given, which is the best time. And whether it should be chanted mentally, vocally, or silently. So each has distinct effects. Gayatri mantra, Om Namah Shivaya has to be chanted vocally, loudly. Gayatri mantra, it gives maximum benefit. It has to be chanted silently. So then only it becomes more potent. So that all that has been defined in the shastras. Now this brings us to the end of the first section, where we talked about what is mantra, how it is connected to the chart. Now let us go to the second section of the mantras, which is classification of mantras in Vedic tradition. So can we have the slide, please? Broadly, we can classify mantras into 6 main categories. The first category is Vedic mantra. Vedic mantra, there is a specific defined particular way of chanting. And under Vedic mantras fall the Suktams, the Rudrams, the Atharva Shirsha, etc. The second category is the Bij mantras, which are nothing but the short forms of the names of various Devis and Devatas. The third is the Stotras or Stotrams. These are nothing but the devotional hymns written by rishis. Examples of stotrams are Panchakam, Shashtakam, Ashtakam, Chalisas, Sahasranams, etc. Fourth category is Kavachams. They are protective armors and have been derived from the various Puranas. The fifth are the Upanishadic mantras, and as the name suggests, they come from the Upanishads. They are more philosophical and spiritual in nature. And the sixth is the Tantric mantras, which are mainly for Siddhi and energy activation. So, we will be looking at each of these 6 categories in detail. And let us look at the first category, which is in the Vedic mantras. Now, the Vedic mantras have been directly downloaded by the rishis during their ध्यान अवस्था. ये कहीं लिखे नहीं है, उनको consciousness से download हुए हैं. And as I said earlier, they have to be chanted in a particular way with their intonations. Now, what are those different intonations which are there in that? They consist of Udat, Anudat, Swaritha, Alpa, Prana, Bahupran, etc. And that sets the tone of the chanting. They can be in one chanda, that is meter, or many chandas. We will give you an example of this. Yudi will be chanting one of the Rudrams. Okay. Then in Vedic mantras, we have 4 Vedas. So from the Rig Veda, there are Suktams, which are mainly for prosperity and blessings. Examples of these are the Devi Suktam, Durga Suktam, Suktam for wealth, Ganesh Medha, Purush Suktam, etc. Now, even the Gayatri mantra, which is dedicated to sun deity Surya, it has come from Rig Veda. Though it is not a Suktam, it has come from Rig Veda. And every deity, every devata has its own Gayatri mantra. So that has come from Rig Veda. From Yajurveda, we have more ritualistic chants, which are performed during various rituals. So one of the most popular and powerful chant is of Lord Shiva in the form of Rudram. In this, the greatness of Shiva is spoken, and it consists of 2 parts, Namakam and Chamakam. So, Yudi, take us through the Rudram
Yes.
portion.
Yes. So, this Namakam and Chamakam, these are the 2 parts of Rudram. In the first part of Namakam, the mantra goes like uh, Namo, 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 like that. In which what we do is we praise Lord Shiva. That you are everything. You are in good, you are in bad, you are in the trees, you're everywhere. You are here, you are there, you're up, you are down, everywhere you are there. And once we have praised him, we ask for the blessing for him. Like so they blessings for his blessings. In example, like in the Namakam, there's a very beautiful line which says, Namaste astu bhagavan vishveshwaraya mahadevaya trayambakaya tripurantakaya trikagni kalaya kalagni rudraya neelakantaya mrityunjayaya sarveshwaraya sadashivaya shriman mahadevaya namaha. So in this we say that we bow down to the Mahadevaya or Trayambakaya, which is the third with 3 eyes, Tripurantakaya और त्रिकाग्नि काल आया है जो तीनों अग्नि को रिप्रेजेंट करता है. काल अग्नि काल अग्नि रुद्राय नीलकंठाय, the one who drank the poison, the blue throat, mrityunjaya, who has conquered the death, sarveshwaraya and sadashivaya. So such beautiful names of the uh, Lord Shiva has been taken in the mantras, and this is a very long chant. I just quoted one small sloka of that. So in this mantra plays salutation to Lord Shiva and describes his greatness in many ways and his names. In the second part of in the second part of Rudram, which is the Chamakam. So in this mantras, it goes like Chame Chame Chame. Means what? This mantra is a very, we want now, once we have praised Lord Shiva, now we want things from him. Shanchame, Mayaschame, Nukamaschame, Kamaschame, So Manasashchame. So we want everything. हमें घर भी चाहिए, गाड़ी भी चाहिए, सुख भी चाहिए, दुख भी, सब जो भी चाहिए, now you give me that. Okay na? And you know, this mantra has a very positive impact on the mind and the body and the environment as well. It is said कि जहाँ पे रुद्रम चैंट होता है, जहाँ रुद्र पूजा होता है, so this rudram chanting is you can hear this chanting in the rudra pujas and the rudra abhishekas as well, and it helps us to cure diseases and grant wishes as well, right? So the third type of like different other type of mantras, like Madhaviji said, third type is the Samaved. It is coming from the Samaved, which is the musical chants, right? Example, the Samagana chants. Yes. So the root of the music with the seven swaras is the Samveda. The Samagana chants define the usage of Vedic mantras mostly from the Rig Vedas and the Yagyas. In the Yagyas, the grace of the Devatas is obtained not only through ahutis, that is oblations, and but also through the Samagaman rendered by Udghata. So these are the musical chants. Samaveda में जो है ना musical chants है. Now अथर्व वेदा में, ठीक है ना? So these are for protection and healing. Like the अथर्व शीर्षा is from the अथर्व Veda. So it is the only Veda which is related to both जो worldly happiness है, जो material happiness है, and the spiritual knowledge as well. So अथर्व Veda has also many mantras mainly for protection and healing. Mantras which are related to cure various physical and mental diseases. You know, other class of hymns including prayers for protection from snake bites, etc. In fact, Ayurveda also has originated from the Atharva Veda. So in this now, the Anpati Atharva Sheesh is a very powerful chant about which Madhavi ji is now going to tell us. Madhavi ji?
Now, yeah. Basically, generally most of the stotras, they have one purva bhag, which is the Shanti mantra, which is mainly done for purification of, to make us ready to chant the divine spiritual stotra. So मन की शुद्धि के लिए वो होता है. Then there is the main bhag, purva bhag, main bhag, and then in the end there is falashruti, that what you will get after chanting this mantra. Now, in Ganpati Atharva Shirsha, for example, the Purva Bhag, if I can chant, is it starts with Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyam Deva Bhadram Paschimakshabhiryajatraha Sthirairangai Stushtuvam Sastanubhihi Vyamesham Devahitam Yadayuhu. What it mainly means is that, O Devas or O Lords, we may hear with our ears what is auspicious. Karnebhi, Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Deva. Then what is worthy of worship, that we may see with our eyes. What is auspicious. With our organs, we should hear only what is auspicious, and using our sense organs may we attain and spend this lifespan in the fulfillment of our lives and attaining moksha. So it is mainly for the man ki shuddhi, the purva bhag. Then the main bhag comes. Now, example in Atharva Shirsha, where it is praising Lord Ganpati. Some of the lines are Tvam gunatrayatitaha, Tvam avasthatrayatitaha, Tvam dehatrayatitaha, Tvam kalatrayatitaha. So what it is basically saying is, O Lord Ganpati, help us realize your conscious essence beyond all the variations of the mind. Three gunas, gunatrayatitha, tamas, rajas. Then the three states, because he is beyond the three states of waking, being awake, dream, and deep sleep. Tvam dehatrayatitha, the three bodies, which are the gross, subtle, and causal. So help us realize that consciousness where we rise above these three. And tvam kalatrayatitaha. So help us realize your eternal essence, which is beyond all the three times, kal, past, present, and future. So then we come to the Falashruti. Now, example is if you take the 13th verse, one line only I will take for example. Dharma artha kama moksha cha vindati. What it means is, if the devotee, if you recite this Atharva Shirsha, then the devotee will obtain dharma, artha, prosperity, right desires, kama, controlling kama, and finally moksha. So by doing this with proper deep concentration and consciousness. Another example of Falashruti is सहस्रना वर्तदम यम kamam dhite tam tam nena sadhyayet. That is, when you do it 1,000 times, sahasra avartan. When you do if you do Atharva Shirsha Parayan 1,000 times with deep study and contemplation, then this Upanishad says that the siddhi will be attained by the sadhak. So this is the Falashruti. So as we said, there are three parts: the Purva Bhag, the Madhya Bhag, and the Falashruti. Now I will request UD to take us to the second category of mantras, which are the Bija mantras.
Yes, so the Bij mantras, or also known as the seed mantras, okay? So Bij mantras are short forms of bigger names of the gods and the goddesses. अगर आप देखोगे ना, so these are the short names, but their sound, this जैसे if my name is Udayan Dalmia, so you can, I'm also called like UD. People call me as UD. So like that, these Bij mantras are the store which they are the sound of the storehouse and powerful power energy of that deity. Like Om, it is a primordial sound which has the energy of Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. Then Reem, which is goddess Mahamaya or Bhuvaneshwardini. Then Kleem, Lord Krishna. Dum, goddess Dhumavati or Ma Durga. Cream, which is goddess Mahakali. Shreem, goddess Mahalakshmi. Aim, goddess Saraswati. So basically, there Ayankarini, Krimkarini. वैसे तो उनका वो छोटा भाग हो गया, इट इज लाइक बेसिकली एब्रिविएशन की तरह आप बोल सकते हो उसको. These are the short forms of the names of the goddesses, which has the exact energy of like that, right? So there are a long list of Bij mantras, and almost all the deities have their short names. Like, okay, now, example in the Chamunda mantra that we say, Om Reem Kleem Chamundai Vichhe. So here what we are doing basically is we are taking the names of Aim, which is Saraswati, Reem, which is Lakshmi, Kleem, which is Kali, and then Chamundai Vichhe, right? So instead, if we have to take the names of all the three, four goddesses here. So instead of saying Saraswati, Lakshmi, Kali, Chamundai Vichhe, we are saying Aim, Reem, Kleem, Chamundai Vichhe, right? So here, so these Bij mantras are very much used in doing japa. Japa में ये बहुत काम आता है. So they are all there are some different forms of Bij mantras, which are the Saguna and the Nirguna mantras as well. So a Saguna mantra is a chant that invokes a deity, मतलब वो उस deity का energy को लेता है with specific qualities and forms, representing divine with its attributes. So like Om Namo Narayana, which means salutations to Narayana, an avatar of Vishnu. Om Dum Durgaya Nama, which honors the goddess Durga and seeks her protection from negative. These are what Bij mantras used for japa majorly. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Nama, which honors Ganesha and his power to remove obstacles and success. है कि नहीं है? And Nirguna mantras क्या है? These are also known as Brahmic mantras. They do not appeal to a particular deity, but their goals is more esoteric, right? So like Om, it's a sound vibration which represents the primordial cosmic sound and the Brahman. Soham, which is I am that. I am what I am. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Tat Tvam Asi, that though, right? So these are what the Nirguna mantras, right? These are usually used for the for the japa, right? Now, the other type of classification of the mantras are stotras. Now these were written down by rishis, and in every stotras it is mentioned who rishi, which rishi has constructed that, written that. Okay, na? So stotras are basically stutis or praise, right? And they do not have any rule on how to chant them. They can be chant in any tune, any rag. So these are the praises of divine. They are done in a particular chandas and meter. So like meter is used in the construction of all the mantras, right? Which gives a little bit of idea on how the, as I said, the stotrams are constructed. Like Anushtup Chandah, right? Anushtup Chand, you might have heard the word Anushtup Chanda. These are the eight syllables in a shloka. So in a shloka, there are 8 syllables in the first line and the 8 syllables in the other line. So the stotras can be of different type, like Shiv Tandav Stotram, Vishnu Stuti. Like there are a lot of stotras that can be. All the Sahasranamas and the Chalisas, Kavachams, what all the shlokas, they fall under the category of stotras. Now Madhavi ji is going to take us forward through different forms of the stotras.
Thanks, Yudi. As we put in our first in the classification slide, the third classifications of stotras, which are made of panchakams, shashtakams, ashtakams. Now, some of the examples of panchakams are Rama Panchakam. As the name Panchakam suggests, it's a stotra of 5 verses. So, some of the examples are Ram Panchakam, Devi Panchakam, Shivananda Lahiri's Panchakam. Shashtakam examples are Bhavani Shashtakam, written by Adi Shankaracharya. But the more popular or more used are the Ashtakams, because obviously the obstacles in our life come from the 8th house. The 8th house is house of Nija Dosha, that karma which cannot be taken by either your spouse or your children. You yourself have to go through that. And Shani is the Karaka of that 8th house, who is the planet of karma. So more practiced are the Ashtakams, which consists of 8 shlokas. And the Ashtakams help you to overcome your various problems arising from the 8th house, which are nothing but Ashtam mein gadda hai bolte hai. So it gives losses, sudden uncertainties. So all that it helps you to overcome. When you consistently chant Ashtakams, it reduces the effects of past deeds also. So, and it also helps you overcome your procrastination, sluggishness, your distractions, etc. Now, some of the examples of Ashtakam are Mahalakshmi Ashtakam is done for Venus, Kal Bhairav Ashtakam for Shani Rahu, Lingashtakam is generally done for Jupiter and Sun, and Rudrashtakam for Mangal. Now, in Lingashtakam, there is one beautiful line Ravana Darpa Vinashaka Lingam Tat Pranamami Sadashiva Lingam. Means, I bow down, I salute to the eternal Shiva, who even destroyed the pride of Ravana. Because when the sun is placed, wrongly placed, or even Jupiter is wrongly placed, it gives you pride. Ego, sun gives ego, and Jupiter gives pride of wisdom if it has malefic impacts. So this Lingashtakam helps you to overcome this. Now, another form of stotra is the Chalisas, which consists of 40 shlokas. Now, they are done to overcome problems arising from the 4th house and 10th house of karma. 4 into 10 is 40, or 5 8s are 40. So, Pancham and 8th house. Famous ones are Hanuman Chalisa by Tulsidas ji, Durga Chalisa by Devidas ji, and Shiva Chalisa, which is found in Shiv Puran by sage Ayodhya Das. There is in Hanuman Chalisa, I will give you few lines, beautiful lines, which says Ashta Siddhi Navanidhi ke data Asbar Deen Janaki Mata. His mother Janaki Devi Sita has given this blessing to you that you can give 8 siddhis, 8 supernatural powers and 9 nidhis to one who practices this, one who is your Bhakt, Hanuman Bhakt. And then another, the 36th verse says, Sankat kate mite sab pira, jo sumire Hanumat balabira. So one is freed from all sufferings and ill-fated contingencies of rebirth for one who adores and who is a devotee of Sri Hanuman. So the Hanuman Chalisa is a very, very strong protective stotra. Now, other famous or popular forms or very strong forms of stotra are the Sahasranams, which is 100 verses. No, Shatakams are 100, Sahasra is 1000. Sorry, I'm very sorry. But before that, there are Shatakams also. Examples of Shatakam are Sri Shankaracharya's Saundarya Lahari, which is 100 verses in praise of Devi Parvati or Tripura Sundari. And Sahasranams are songs of praise, which consists of 1000 names of a deity. So benefits of chanting Sahasranam are manifold. You cannot; those are not very few. They invoke divine blessings. They protect us against miseries and negative influences. They promote mental peace, help us in our spiritual growth, and helps one to stay aligned with dharmic principles. They purify the mind and soul and foster a deep connection with the divine energy. Examples of Shiva Sahasranams are Shiva Sahasranam by Lord Vishnu himself, Vishnu Sahasranam by Rishi Vyas, Lalita Sahasranam by 8 Vagdevis, which are Vasini, Kameshwari, Aruna, Vimala, Jayani, Modini, Sarveshwari, and Kaulini. Now, let us look at one example or one beautiful verse in Sahasranam. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham. What it means is one who has serene appearance, one who is lying on the bed of serpent, and one whose navel is springing up with lotus, from where the source, which is the source of all creation through Brahmadev, and who is presiding over various elements of the creation, the Lord of the Devas, Suresham. Padmanabham is the belly and Suresham. Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrusham Meghavarnam Shubhangam, who is the substratum of the whole universe or the consciousness, boundless like the sky, Gagana Sadrusham, Meghavarnam, bluish like the cloud, which is radiating auspiciousness. Meghavarnam Shubhangam. This auspiciousness, it fills our inner bliss. Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Vir Dhyanagamyam, who is beloved by the Devi Lakshmi, who has beautiful eyes, Kamalanayanam, like lotus petals, and Yogibhir Dhyanagamyam, who is attainable by the yogis through meditation, through sadhana. Vande Vishnu Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaikanaatham. Worship that all-pervading Vishnu who removes fear, Bhavabhayaharam, fear of worldly existence. How does he remove this? By making us realize that we are connected eternally to him. So I worship that Vishnu, who is the one Lord of all the lokas, Sarvalokaikanaatham, Lord of all the three lokas. So in the Falashruti, it is mentioned in one shloka that if the Brahmins read Vishnu Sahasranam every day, they will get knowledge of the Vedas. If the Kshatriyas recite it, they will be victorious in their endeavors. If the Vaishyas recite it, they will get wealth and prosperity. And if the Shudras recite it, they will get various comforts. So it is very, very powerful. And I request UD to take us through the other classifications of our stotras, the Kavachams and Upanishads.
Okay, so kavachams are like the protective. The next classification is the kavachams, which are the protective armors. Like kavach is like a protective shield that we pray to the Lord, the Devi, to give that kavach to protect us from the uh, bad things that can happen to a person, right? The literal meaning of a kavach is like an armor or a breastplate that soldiers wear into wars, right? So mantras and prayers involved in kavach are found in the Puranas and the Tantra texts. A kavacham generally mentions every limb of the body specifically and requests the specific deity to protect that particular limb. Like some of the powerful kavacham, like everyone has a kavacham, like Shiv kavacham, Narasimha kavacham, Chandi kavacham, Devi kavacham, Narayan kavacham. So the Devi kavacham, it was like Dantan Rakshatu Kaumari. So we are praying to Lord Kaumari to uh, like protect our teeth. Dantan Rakshatu Kaumari. Yes, sir. So like that, the different kavachams are used, are recited and uh, listened to for protection from the outer problems in life. Then the are the Upanishad mantras, right? So the Shanti mantras comes in the Upanishad mantras. These are for peace, right? These are for peace. Generally, they are either recited in at the beginning or at the end of religious rituals and discourses, like the Pavamana mantra, right? O asato Om asatoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amrita gamaya. So, like, what does it say? Lead me from the from the unreal to the real. Lead me from darkness to light. Lead me from death to the immortality. Then is the Shanti mantra, which is Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya. This mantra, in which what do we say? That may all be happy, may all be free from illness, may all set is auspicious. In that we cover, we pray for everyone. We just don't pray for only some people or just our families or just us. It is for the everyone that we are praying for, right? Now there are some tantric mantras as well. Like, so these the last classification of the mantras, that classification we're going to talk about the tantric mantra. These are mainly for siddhis and energy activation. Like the Navarana mantra, which is the Chamunda mantra, Om Reem Aim Reem Klim Chamundai Viche. Right? So this mantra is a, as I said, Navaran mantra. Nav means nine. It is a nine syllable mantra. Okay, so this is done best for Rahu and Saturn in the ninth house. So like malefics like Rahu and Saturn, when they are placed in the ninth house, they block the भाग्य उदय. वो भाग्य को उदय नहीं होने देते, क्योंकि वहाँ शनि डिले करता है भाग्य उदय होने के लिए. एंड राहु का क्या, वो मरण कारक स्थान है. So Rahu's मरण कारक स्थान is the ninth house. This, this placement indicates that we have either done, we went something against, we done something against the religion in the past life or our dharma, or we did not fulfill our duties towards it. And it can create, as I say, भाग्य उदय लेट होगा तो आपके जीवन में ऑब्स्टिकल्स आएंगी, है कि नहीं? It can, that can ultimately create mental agony, stress, and delay in the success in life, right? So this mantra should be done to calm down the mental agony caused by the placement of Rahu and Shani. So just remember that because it is a tantric mantra and this can be chanted, all the tantric mantras cannot be chanted without initiation. This mantra can be chanted. Like, but इसमें क्या है कि हम starting में the prefix Om is been talked about. Om लगा के ही इसको हम chant करते हैं. Om Aim Reem Klim Chamundai Viche. Right? So this was the end of the classification of the mantra, like a broad classification. There can be more, but because of limited time, we have just covered few of them. Right now, moving on to the third section, uh, we have specifically discussed about the specific mantras for different purposes and which planet represents which mantra. Madhaviji, would you like to take us through the next part?
Yes. Now, this is such a vast thing, but we have tried to cover different purposes that generally one faces and goes through problems in life. And we have done a broad category, but we have not, the time is limited, so we cannot cover all the types of mantras for all the different purposes. Let us look at the broad mantras which are for overall general well-being and positivity. Now they are Gayatri mantra and Mahamrityunjay mantra, which are 24 akshari mantras. Gayatri mantra, it is for general well-being and positivity. Gayatri, as it is sun, we already talked about it. It represents our overall health and decision making, our courage, and it is Karak of the first house. So chanting Gayatri mantra, it enhances our intelligence, spiritual wisdom, and inner clarity. The second 24 akshari mantra is Mahamrityunjay mantra. Now, interestingly, 24, if you add to a single digit, it is 6, and it is the digit of Venus. And this Mahamrutyunjay mantra also represents planet Venus, and it is done for health and protection. And 24 is also 6 4s are 24, 12 2s are 24, and 8 3s are 24. So it helps us to overcome problems of 6th, 8th, and 12th house. Shukra is Prabal Marak in the Kalpurush Kundali chart, and chanting this mantra, it removes diseases, fear of death, and grants us longevity. Another very powerful mantra for overall general well-being and positivity is Vishnu Sahasranaam, which primarily is Vishnu's mantra, but it covers all the 9 planets because Vishnu took 9 avatars. And interestingly, when we chant this throughout our lives, we go through different Mahadashas. So, for example, if we are going through the Sun Mahadasha, then Vishnu's Ram avatar represents Sun. So, during that period, we get the qualities of Ram. Those come into us. If we are going through Moon Dasha and when we are chanting Vishnu Sahasranam, the planet Moon's avatar, Krishna avatar of Vishnu represented Moon. So that time we are more playful. There is abundance in our life. So this is another interesting part to look at it. Mercury is also the primary Karaka of the 10th house. It is a significator of our intelligence, of our learning. So Vishnu Sahasranam, as I already said, it covers all the 9 planets. So when we chant this, we get maximum benefit, overall benefit to purify our mind, body, and soul, which helps us in achieving personal and professional goals. Second, if we want specific mantra for wealth and prosperity, then example is Shri Suktam, which is of Venus. This is devoted to Ma Lakshmi Devi, who has all the wealth of the Ashtalakshmi. So chanting this, it attracts financial abundance, prosperity, and wealth. Second mantra which we can think of for wealth and prosperity is Kuber mantra, which represents planet Jupiter. This is mainly done for business and financial growth. Kuber is Lord of Wealth associated with Guru and brings us success and prosperity. If we want success and career growth, then as we spoke earlier, Ganpati mantra is there or Ganpati Atharvasharsha is there, which represents planet Ketu. Ganpati represents wisdom and knowledge, but Ketu is headless. So for making right decisions, it helps us. So benefits of chanting Ganpati Stotra ya Atharva Shirsha is it removes all obstacles because Ganpati is Vigna Nashaya. It helps in students for concentration in studies, and it also protects the womb of pregnant women. So this mantra is important. Now, if we want overall mental peace and spiritual growth, then we have to do the popular mantras are Om Namah Shivaya, which is for Moon and Jupiter. This is the most powerful Panchakshari mantra, which balances all the 5 elements of nature inside us. And as it directly relates to the 5th house because it's a Panchakshari mantra of our Purva Punya. We have already seen how it connects all our 9th house and 1st house before. Then Ashtakshari mantra, the popular common is Om Namo Narayana. So this helps us to ward off obstacles coming from the 8th house of Nija Dosha and helps us in transformation for those who are on spiritual path because 8th house is house of transformation if you use it positively. Then Barakshari, Dwadashakshari, Bara is Marathi, Dwadashakshari mantra is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is also of planet Mercury, but it is specifically for the 12th house. And it gives relief from problems of 12th house for divine connection and ultimate liberation. The balance few mantras I would request UD to take us through.
Yes. So like for education and knowledge, so as I said, Madhavi said that इंटेलिजेंस का प्लैनेट कौन है? मर्क्यूरी है, हमारे इंटेलेक्ट का, हमारे लर्निंग का. सो सरस्वती मंत्र फॉर education knowledge we can do. For victory and complete in competition in like legal cases, so Bagalamukhi mantra is there, but this is a Dash Mahavidya, right? It is a Dash Mahavidya, so it is not to be touched without initiation or by the permission of the guru. So इससे अच्छा क्या है कि आप आपका कोई अगर कंपटीशन है या कोई लीगल केस चल रहा है, you go to the Bagalamukhi temple and then you pray to the Devi. So उससे क्या होता है, and it is related to the Mars. Like Mars, who is Mars? Mars is the commander of the army. This the primary karaka of the third house and the secondary karaka of the sixth house of conflicts and litigation. So what? So when you pray to Bagalamukhi Mata, so you get victory in debates, legal matters, and then the career growth, of course. So for protection of and removal of negative energy, we can of course chant the Hanuman Chalisa, which is again a planet mantra related to Mars, and Mars is the energy and the enthusiasm, the valor, the execution power that we have, and Hanuman Chalisa also destroys the negativity and the fear of black magic and the black magic that can happen. So it protects us from that. Then there is the Narsima Kavach. So Narasimha is a Vishnu. Narasimha avatar is a Vishnu avatar connected to planet Mars, right? And again, the benefits of Narasimha Kavach, like it helps us warding off the negative energies and obstacles and gives protection from enemies and evil eye as well. For balancing the planetary effect, there is a Navagraha Shanti mantra, which is for all the planets, right? It removes and reduces the afflictions and pacifies the planetary effects from all the nine planets. It is a Shanti mantra, Navagraha Shanti mantra. And for childbirth and fertility, the Santan Gopal mantra, which is for both Jupiter and Venus, Jupiter being the Karaka, and Mercury is related to Lord Krishna. So what happens is when you do the Santan Gopal mantra, it blesses the couple with the child and ensures its well-being as well. So with this, we come to the end of
1 minute.
this.
I would like to just add, uh,
Yes.
in the end, not last but not the least, like mantras, when you do it over a period of time, you get the benefit. But these same sotrams, when you have too much difficulty, like somebody's health is very much bad, or you're facing too much obstacles, then the strong form of this is Rudra Abhishek, Rudra Home, Rudra Puja is recommended, where you get instant relief little bit. But otherwise, this was again reiterated by our Sir Alokji yesterday only, so I am adding this. But otherwise, I think we have tried to cover different aspects. Sorry, you continue.
Yes. So what the mantras that everyone can do, right, is the Om Namah Shivaya and the Om Namo Narayana mantra. As Madhavi said, it is a Panchakshari mantra which balances the five elements, right? And the Ashtakshari mantra, which Om Namo Narayana, which balances out the negativity coming from the eighth house of conflicts, eighth house of obstacles, right? So these two mantras can be done by anyone and everyone every day, 108 times, and other stotrams and all, whatever you feel connected to, right? A lot of times it happens that you feel connected to a particular deity, so you can of course look at the mantras of those planets, maybe the stotras, the kavachams, the ashtakams, and these stotrams and kavachams, they also are used in particular dashas as well. They have a particular placement of any planet into the dashas as well. So for that, you need to consult Jyotishi, right? So that can who can guide you better on which mantra to do in which dasha and which time and for any particular purpose. So that is all from my side. Madhaviji, would you like to say anything there?
No, again, I am recollecting yesterday's, because yesterday only Alokji spoke about mantras and remedies. So he said for overall protection, if you cover these four lords, which is Shiva, Vishnu, Bhairav, who is the Dwarpal, and Devi, then you will get protection and overall prosperity in life. So with this, we will conclude our this, and uh, if there has been any error in my pronunciation, I'm sorry. We have tried to do our best. And please let us know what next topic you would all be interested in. Let us end the session, UD.
Yes.
Jai
Thank you.
Gurudev. Thank you so much.